Good morning, pregame crew. How are you doing? It is Thursday, August 30th, 2023. We got 2 days left in this month. It's 6:21 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:21 a.m. Eastern Time. We just had non-farm payrolls come out. It was weaker than expected, which is a bad news is good news thing, and the market popped. We have GDP in 8 minutes. We have data tomorrow. We have data Friday. Heavy data. We saw jolt the market higher yesterday, and we are green over, actually we're slightly red overnight from yesterday's close. We're down $1, so I would call that flat. And on NASDAQ, we're flat as well, but overall held up really good overnight. You would expect some type of consolidation. We're just not seeing it. Thank you, Rob. I officially get started in 8 minutes. Between now and then, I like to say hello to my friends, do a little roll call, check that audio visual, that's a check, and take a few chart requests. Good morning, Shake and Bake. Welcome back. Hey, Marvin, Hector, Greg. Hey, Rob, Fernando, Tom, Topher, Card Lady, 374 Lon, Mike, Gugster, KK, Homebody, Basque, Skyper, Fat N, Mark, Paul, Mal, Duke. Did you sleep for a whole day? I don't know. Did you? Hey, Tess and Scotty. Good morning. Let's go back up to the top. Oh, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have an Ask Me Anything with Chart Guy Lamont. Let me pin that right there to the top of chat. Now it's pinned up there if you want to save that link. Hey, Michael and Mary. Market overall is looking good. Oil is strong with the hurricane in the Gulf. Think about all the different platforms that are out in the Gulf. I'm from Louisiana, so I'm very familiar with offshore drilling. Lots of family work on those offshore platforms. They get shut down during hurricanes, and that impacts supply. So oil is a little bullish. Bullish oil is good for the market. It has been that direct correlation this year, and we've seen it get stronger and get weaker at times. So my thoughts are with everyone being impacted by the hurricane. I hope you stay safe. Good morning, Shadu Murthy over in TradingView. How are you? So Lowe's, Home Depot, and Generac could also get a positive boost from the hurricane. Home Depot has a dividend. Today is ex-divvy date, so you may want to check that one. Do you could gaps? I don't understand the question. Any gap higher or lower just becomes a support or resistance. So I wouldn't say, well, let's look at Amazon and I'll show you what I mean. So I see a gap right here on earnings from an earnings gap up on Amazon from August 3rd. I mark that off. That becomes a level of interest. It doesn't mean that it will act as support if price were to come down, but they can act as magnets, gap fill areas. So I mark them off as a key level. So maybe that answers your question. I don't know if I'm understanding the question very well. Hey, Clifton. All right, Microsoft. Microsoft has a daily squeeze brewing. Weekly inside bar. See, we have not made a daily higher high. So we start separating the data, the names that have made higher highs and those that have not. Apple, for instance, have yet to make a higher high. Microsoft. So we start separating these names. I need to make that font smaller. So that makes Microsoft just not as well positioned as some of the other names. It doesn't mean it can't be a laggard. We have the daily 50 MA overhead. A strong magnet. Yeah, okay. So right now we're up here testing yesterday's high. If we can get over yesterday's high and hold it, that would be strong, and we could do gap rules. Amazon's a little bit cleaner for me. Look at this one. This is more of a rising wedge. Higher high, higher high, higher high without a ton of follow through. A daily lower high is the more likely scenario relative to 136.78. We'll see how this manifests. But for me, I would rather look at top fishing Amazon or Microsoft compared to Apple that already has a higher high. So I just separate them into different buckets. And right now the market is strong. We have data in 3 minutes. So we're anticipating GDP. Forecast is 2.4%. 2.4%. Then we have data again at 10 a.m. No problem, Apollo. Hey, Bennett. Gold, I sold my gold a little early yesterday, but that's okay. 5-minute RSI was 86 when I sold my last contract. It's up another 10 points. We have talked about the oil squeeze ad nauseum, but we haven't talked about the gold squeeze ad nauseum. Look at the weekly squeeze on gold. It's not as beautiful as oil, but it's there. What if my contention is that commodities are underpriced relative to technology names? Commodities have not had their day in the sun. So maybe that's the next phase we're entering, is dollar taking a pullback and gold and oil coming more into focus. We're still looking for a weekly lower high on gold, so I'm not going to get it twisted, but we're in a good 4-hour uptrend in a weekly downtrend, overbought, so I can't get overly enthusiastic up here, but I for sure ain't going to short it. Look at that 15-minute squeeze this morning. Just incredible. Good morning. Did y'all see the bag holding webinar last night where we discussed Lamont, Dan and I, we discussed how to avoid bag holding. If you find yourself in a situation where you are bag holding, what do you do? Jimbo, I will do Riot right now for you because I am terrible at looking at TradingView chat and I need to be better at it. So Riot got a big pop on the grayscale news, big volume, got over 1131. It did not have the kind of day that Mara had because Mara has more shorts on it. It's shorted almost twice as much as Riot. It's like 27% on Mara sharp float and like 17 or 18% on Riot. So Mara had a beautiful day. Look for oversold bounce. Riot, I would play back burner. Back burner during regular trading hours. And that's the theme of the day, is back burner. Let's go look at ES real quick. What is our next resistance? Will be the high of overnight, 451625. 451625. And if we zoom out, we have a daily resistance right here of 451775. We were unable to get through that. The high of August 15th, we have a double top of that area right now. Right there. So do y'all see them? We have a double top. So that'll be a key area that we need, a number that we should bring forward today. We have cleared the daily 50 MA on ES and NASDAQ. For me, I'm staying in back burner mode. I'm going to try maybe 1 or 2 shorts and I'll tell you where I'm going to try that. And I can be wrong quickly and I'll stop out and just stay in my long mindset. Okay, our data is out. They don't have it populated. Market likes it. Market wants to put a ring on it. Okay, you're not going to tell me economic calendar. That's okay. 2.1 versus anticipated 2.4. All right, let me put that in chat in case y'all need it. Oh, thanks, Shelly. Thanks, Rob. Okay. If I had $1 for every question I got about NVIDIA this year, I'd be a rich woman. So just know, maybe I'm already a rich woman in love, and I am, and family, and all the things. All right, NVIDIA has been the name du jour of the year. So it is just a tough name to get embroiled with, or whatever the right word, entangled with, because of its high ATR. So we'll go over that in a second. But let's get started with the show. Good morning. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community. And we teach technical analysis. If you want to give us a follow on Twitter, check us out at chartguys.com. That would be lovely. What I do here every morning is we look at this table. Yes, Hang Seng is the only one without a check because it was negative 0.01. I'm calling that flat. And DAX, it was slightly red when last time I looked at it. Let's go see if it's changed since 3:30. Nope, still red. Only red check on my screen. So when the med table is greater than 100 for the bulls, we are in back burner mode, folks. And that is first 5 and 15-minute oversold during regular trading hours. That's my mindset on the day. Excuse me. I drink way too much water right before I get on. Okay, again, we have data at 10 a.m. Don't forget about it. I have notes that are off screen, and I save those for TCG members when I am done. Okay. What the heck is going on? What the heck? Good stuff is going on. That's what. So the market is not over that key resistance. So I would say today is all about this 451775. I love that the market got over the daily 50 MA. Plenty of room for a daily higher low. I think you are better suited today to go in with the mindset that yes, we can anticipate some hourly consolidation, 4-hour consolidation, but we would anticipate it to be healthy at this point with the size of the moves. So what does that tell you? You are better served being a bull today and looking for pullback buys. You're much better served. Daily RSI is not extended. 4-hour is not extended. Potential bull flag. It confirms over the high of the night. 451625. Y'all look at the slope of these EMAs. They don't play around. They mean business. Slope of the EMA. So TEMA, it is greater than 45 degrees. That shows the veracity in which the bulls were buying the dip. Hand over fist. There's one problem when you have this formation. And why did I put that on strong magnet? We did not establish support on the way up. You just rip bears' faces off on the way up and you just wipe out order books. So if we were to come back down into this range, it can also be like a hot knife through butter. That's the only problem with those large moves that involve a component of a short squeeze is that they don't establish support on the way up. And short squeezes can actually, I know this sounds totally backwards, but short squeezes can weaken a market. It can. So 4-hour bull flags are on the table all the way around. And the most important thing is that we are over the daily 50 MAs. All right. Let's look at the dollar. The dollar weakening is just music to my ears. Finally, we lost all these supports. Good. We're oversold here on the hourly. On the 4-hour chart, we're not oversold yet. And that may be what it takes. Let me write that out. If I can figure out how to write. Here we go. For market to consolidate, it may take dollar 4-hour oversold bounce to get going for market to take a breather. And I have the dollar chart up at all times because of the strong correlation we've had as of late, inverse correlation. I watch the dollar, I watch oil, and I watch market internals. All right, RTY. This is probably, I asked somebody I was working with, I'm like, do you ever trade in, have you ever traded in float? in flow state, or have you witnessed flow state? He's like, yeah, I saw you. You had flow state in July. He's telling me this mid-August. I love you, and you know who you are. It's pretty funny because it's like, Lori, you haven't had flow state the first 2 weeks of August, but in July you were on fire. And he was not wrong at all. And I feel like this week I've had flow state where you sync up with the market and you read it, and you read it decently. And RTY long was probably my best call since the Tesla beach ball trade setup. This downward trend line was so obvious, and bouncing from IWM daily 200 MA right there with that long lower wick of bulls buying the dip. We had the bear break with no follow through. That can tell you so much. Remember, we're always watching to see who's trying to do what and how well are they doing it, because it gives us information. And Daltonisms, like he likes to call that, market generated information. The market told you, I'm defending this 200 MA. Yes, you got a lower low, but you had no buddies with you on the trade, and now I'm going to reverse it and rip your face off. We are not through the daily 50 MA on IWM, so we can't lose track of that. But RTY, I'm going to stay with this until it stops working. So yesterday, I told y'all Monday, I reflected back yesterday on Monday's trading that I messed up on the expiration date of the stock of IWM, the ETF. And so yesterday I did get it right. We have enough room for a daily higher low. So now I would be looking for a pullback buy on IWM. And that's why it is one of our queen of the mountain trades today. IWM long, looking for back burners during regular trading hours. Scotty, it doesn't matter if I believe in seasonality trades or not. It does exist, and statistically it does exist. But you know, what is the saying? And kids, do not curse. But there's a saying, there's statistics and then there's damn lies or something like that. And a lot of times you can get statistics, you can skew them. But also, when we come into September of 2023, think about this. It has, and for those of you calculus and quantitative business analysis experts, there's a word for it in business math where you calculate probabilities, and all of the conditions are reset. So when you flip a penny and you've gotten heads 10 out of the last 10 times, does that mean you're going to get heads next time? No. They're independent and mutually exclusive. The odds of the prior 10 flips of the pennies each time is its own occurrence, like on an island. It has nothing to do with prior occurrences. I believe that to be true in economics. What were we dealing with last September of 2022 that we're not dealing with now, or more that we are dealing with? A hurricane. There's so many different things and independent variables in the market. China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, unrest, all these different variables. So I think they're all unique. I think that's the word. They're just unique occurrences, and we just have to follow the price action. I don't know that scrubbing historical data will help us with trading today. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But overall, here's a fun fact. And I did not go back and verify this. I saw this on CBOE. Let me type it out so I don't get it wrong. CBOE came out 1 week ago and said that this is the first time since 2018 since we had gone 6 months without a 2% day in SPY. They just said that last week. I don't know if that's true. I didn't go back and validate that. I'm assuming they wouldn't tell a lie. Look at what QQQ did yesterday. It got a 2%. So if I read that headline, do I start selling iron condors like crazy, or do I bet on the volatility then? Again, you just have to look at each occurrence as if it's independent. Yes, John, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all know sometimes I just don't get the saying right, but I was more than halfway there. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Okay. Dow is green, NASDAQ is green, ES is green, RTY not so much yet. Potential 4-hour bull flag 34953. is overhead. I'm going to set alert for that. And then I'm going to set an alert for 35,000. I set alerts for these all the time, and they help tremendously in my trading. YM, we have cleared daily 50 MA, and we have enough room for a daily high or low. Yeah, I'm sure the dollar is dropping. Yep. Die. Kidding. That impacts us in so many different ways. Well, I just noticed this for the first time. It's funny, I literally looked away to the dollar screen and then came back, and then I saw something that I did not see before I turned my head. Potential megafaun on VIX. That would be bearish for the market if this were to be true and this trend line hold down here at the bottom. Something to be aware of. I'm sure I could extend it out. Nope. So I'm not going to do anything with that information. I'm still going to stay in back burner mode, but I just want to make note of that on VIX. Hang Seng was flat overnight. DAX is slightly red. Let me get a little water. Thank you, Rob, for that information. Yes, Seaconk, I don't think that they were, the data came out before last Thursday, and also CBOE specifically said that they did not take into consideration any aftermarket hours information. Okay, Bitcoin. Here's your info you need. As long as we stay above 27,300 in this general area where we are with Bitcoin, it keeps a 4-hour, and it probably looks better on the 6-hour bull flag alive. Yeah. Okay. Y'all, how good was this nonsense yesterday? It wasn't nonsense. It was good stuff. That high compression squeeze. When you get a high compression squeeze and you squeeze to the bull side above the zero line where the histogram fires above the zero line, you can typically expect 6 to 8 bars of continuation. I wouldn't say we got the continuation yet, but it definitely has held up very well. And yeah, we've had consolidation overnight, but look what the consolidation looked like. That's bubkus. That's just minor profit taking. I would say stay in back burner mode on Bitcoin and Ethereum, looking for that 4-hour higher low. Remember, you are better served. 90% of the time, you are better served being a trend trader. There are rare instances where you can counter trend trade, and it's just a beauty of a trade, and it takes a different type of skill set and more experience from my experience. Okay. So as long as we stay above, let's call it $1,700 on Ethereum, this is super healthy, and always evaluate any type of consolidation. And if you want to see if it's healthy, and I say that in quotation marks, is it healthy consolidation? Look at volume. Price tells us one part of the equation, and volume adds more color to that equation. If y'all could hit that like button, there are 320 of you and only 104 likes. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm really having a good, I'm excited. I'm having a good morning. Backburner, if you look up Chart Guys on YouTube, Backburner, we have a video on it, and it's basically the first 5 or 15 minute, and sometimes it can go up in higher time frames. You can have a daily backburner, but it's after a large outsized move in a name in an uptrend, or that's recently gotten an uptrend, and it has a big outsized move. You wait for first 5 or 15 minute oversold during regular trading hours for a potential long. Dang, gold. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. So gold is running into the daily 50 MA. We have the 200 MA overhead, and your next resistance is 1984. Mary Lou Retton's year, 1984. We have plenty of room for a daily high or low. Gold, I would stay in back burner mode. We're looking for oversold bounces to buy on gold. That's my stance. Oil. Again, I'm just getting super excited just looking at this. Oh, where's my square? Where's my little... That. Okay. This isn't the neatest trampoline I've ever drawn, but you see that trampoline move on oil? And make note, it's so awesome when you keep making note of these things and you're like, I've seen this movie before. Look at oil holding that daily 50 MA. Even when it made a lower low, I was still bullish because of the weekly bull flag and this weekly squeeze. And what was one of the clues that tells you that this daily dip is buyable? We were holding the 50 RSI. Okay, magnet. Me and you about to go to war. There we go. That told us it was viable. Look at this bull volume. It wasn't weak. It wasn't weak on this pullback. Oil is having a great morning, a great overnight, a great week, and that's partly due to the hurricane. We have oil inventory at 10:30 today, and that could bring everything crashing down and change the flavor of this, but for right now, dips are for buying. Oh, thank you, Rav. I appreciate it. Look at that, Rav. Rav is part of our team, and he's unbelievable. All right, on nat gas, we're trapped below the daily EMA. 4 hours chop. Y'all, I don't have any clarity on this name. If you do, Godspeed. I don't see it. Don't see it. All right, let's look at Apple. So Apple is one of those things that we start separating out. Apple has made a daily higher high. We are in a daily uptrend. We have the daily 50 MA overhead, and watch what I do here. 186.34. I'm actually going to do 186.15. And I tell myself, why did I put that there? And that way, if I'm not looking at the Apple chart, I can know that that daily 50 MA is being hit. I would be a bear on Apple closer to 187.13, looking at this resistance to possibly hold in this daily 50 MA. If we get through this resistance, we are then into gap fill territory targeting 190.43. And y'all remember all these companies that discussed buybacks? NVIDIA, $25 billion buyback. Do you think I want to be an active bear on NVIDIA when they're... I don't know when, you would need to research that. When do they start the $25 billion stock repurchase plan? It's just tough to be a bear on some of these names when they have such good buyback programs. Let me go back to my notes on Apple. I don't know if I said everything I needed to say. Yeah, anything above 182.80 keeps the consolidation healthy. So right here, the 0.382. So that's what I'm calculating on a lot of my charts that had extended moves is what keeps a 4-hour bull flag in play. And on Apple, that's 182.80. Amazon is not like Apple. A daily lower high is a more likely scenario. Yes, it is above the 50 MA at least, so it's a little healthier than Apple like that. Potential weekly bull flag. But the setup right here is more beneficial for bears, in my opinion, with this potential rising wedge that we have on the 4-hour chart as bears scout a daily lower high. And I would only look at this short if the market bears were regaining control. All right. NVIDIA, we have a weekly inside bar. We're still inside last week's range. I saw someone ask about this bear divergence. I don't get overly turned about bearish divergence because what is bearish divergence? It just means it consolidated and cooled off RSI. Well, that's what bulls needed to do to bring it up another leg higher. So I'm not going to short NVIDIA on bearish divergence alone. It would have to do something in price to make me want to short it. So I think if we get close to $500 or even $520, those could be decent short areas. I just think we have, who has the edge? It's the bulls that have the edge. And I'm just like tripping over my words because I know this daily chart had a big pullback. And I don't want to be naive to that big pullback. But I'm also not going to short this. Look at this squeeze. This is very healthy. And this weekly chart, healthy. So I don't think it's clear for bears to have a short, and I think the bulls are positioned well for pullback buys. Tesla has a daily uptrend. Okay, this is going to be one of those weird ones. Y'all are going to be like, what? I'm looking for a short on Tesla today. And I'm ready to be wrong, and that's okay because I have more longs on than I have shorts. And always remember context. When people tell you they're looking at a long or a short, in order for you to understand their thinking, you'd have to know all of their positions in their portfolio. And so if I have 6 longs, then I'm looking for a short, and it's somewhat of a hedge. Each chart is reviewed independently, but with Tesla, the daily 50 MA overhead, we're looking for a weekly lower high. 4-hour got overbought. So I'm looking for a top fish setup against yesterday's high. If it keeps going, I would look for another short closer to 260. Above 260, I'm wrong. Okay, AMC. AMC is a dangerous, super dangerous long. Remember, they did all these reverse splits, and they had the APE shares and AMC shares, and for every share you got a blankety blank shares added to your account. So major dilution is what I understand. Please verify that on your own. Look at this squeeze on the hourly chart here. I would love a flush of $10. I would love a flush of $10 and then give me a beach ball bounce. So AMC is ninjas only, meaning only consistently profitable traders that specialize in oversold bounces is the only people that should be looking to trade this. Otherwise, you can get cut up. Okay, I said 2 names. Actually, it's 3 names I'm looking short. We have a squeeze on Disney. This chart has an hourly squeeze. We're looking for a daily lower high. We have a daily inside bar. What does that mean? We had a screaming bull day yesterday. Disney cannot climb out of Friday's range. That tells me it's weak. I'm willing to short all the way up to 84.75. This is my Queen of the Mountain trade today. I haven't reshuffled my charts over here, so you can't use that as a clue. But I'm looking at a DIS short today as my Queen of the Mountain trade. And I'm looking for the daily lower high with a daily 8 EMA overhead, taking into account of yesterday's relative weakness compared to the market. We have an hourly squeeze. And look how the squeeze served us back here. The last time we did this as a Queen of the Mountain trade was here, and it was a Queen of the Mountain short. All right, DLTR did not come to fruition yesterday, but we still have a double daily inside bar. So I would only be looking bullish because our daily RSI is 19. We have a squeeze on the hourly chart. If we could push below 123 and give me a beach ball, meaning where bears try to stuff it below 123, they're unable to keep it underneath the water, the beach ball trying to shove it underwater, and it pops up. I like DLTR long if we get a bear break without follow through. So I love DIS and DLTR. DIS for a short, DLTR for a long. I like Amazon for a potential short and Tesla for a potential short. IWM back burner watch. Nice move up. Daily higher high. Plenty of room for daily higher low on a pullback. Above 189.46. I'm going to do this for like 189.30. We got to be careful because we have the daily 50 MA overhead, and it typically serves as resistance on first test. UPST. I just have to take a deep breath. People that get on here and argue with me, it's like, why would you even listen to someone that you want to argue with? Megaphone on the weekly on VIX. I wouldn't say it trumps the smaller time frame, Jimbo. It's just something I make note of. But VIX is designed to go down, so I'm not tremendously worried about VIX being a counter trend indicator right now. It's just something I make note of. So if it starts getting some bull follow through, then I may pump the brakes and say, wait, maybe that megaphone is valid now. UPST has a very high short interest rate. It got a short interest rate. Gosh. Short float, I'm already mentally tired. Short float. So I'm looking for a pullback buy back burner trade on UPST. So let me get my notes right here. TCGers, you get these notes every day. I'm just going to share a small portion of them with the public right now. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, this is what I'm looking for today. And our 4 regulars, here's the state of the world. And Nvidia and Apple, I honestly don't have a clear setup. Amazon and Tesla are potential shorts. This is a potential short. Longs for me are potential AMC on a $10 flush, DLTR on a 123 flush, and IWM and UPST on back burners. All right. Thank y'all for being here. If you could hit that like button, I'd greatly appreciate it. There are now 350 of you and only 188 likes. If you'd give me a follow on Twitter at CharkAlLuri, that would be lovely. And TCGers, I'll have these notes to you in a jiffy. Use stop losses.